Hello, hello everybody. Welcome. Hey Lunar Rays. Hey Appleman. Hey Acellus. We got to do a first things first here. First things first. Gotta start that timer. Ouch! Why? We're starting with violence. Where's my other timer? That one. There we go. There we go. Hey Kite. Thank you for the treat. Hey! You found you found one of the new redeems. Ouch! It's throwing nothing but Apple Jacks at this point, isn't it? Yeah, the apples are back, except there's an Applejack in there. Ouch! Get those things away from me. Ugh, gross. I hate paprikas. Ugh. Blah. That was, yeah, I do it. I don't like paprika. Which sucks because so much stuff in this country comes with paprika in it. I like paprika seasoning. I don't like paprika as a whole vegetable. So, hello everyone. You saw the timer at the front? Yes. And To the Edge, you noticed that song was playing. That one, fun fact, the first time I heard that song was during last year's subathon. During last year's celebration, we were playing Final Fantasy 14, and I can't remember what day it was, but we were finishing off Shadowbringers, so we got to listen to that song. So yeah. How is everybody today? How's everyone? So you notice that, yeah, there's more redeems. You'll notice there's 3 missing. Yeah, the summer event too. I gotta do that. I haven't done the summer event yet. That's planned. Depending on how long this subathon goes. Depends on how long it goes. You can already see it's at 19 hours. Okay, I have to say this just for myself, okay? Because I had to look at last year's VOD to remember how I set up the clock. Because I couldn't remember how I did it. Okay, why is it 19 hours? So what I do is I have a base time of 8 hours. And then what I do is I take all my current subs that I have now, and I go ahead and count them all as tier 1, and I calculate them. And if that total plus the base clock exceeds 24 hours, then I get rid of the base clock. But if it doesn't, I keep the base clock. So that's why we're at 19 hours. See, last year, I actually threw out the base clock, but we were at like 18 hours, 19 minutes. So we're actually starting out an hour ahead this year. We're actually starting out an hour ahead. So, okay, Future Moon, when you're looking back on this for our 9-year celebration, that's how I determined the clock, okay? Do I know the title of the next expansion? Yes, Dawn Trail. I need to I have not played any post-Endwalker content. I've played none of it. I've been getting my jobs all leveled up. Let me read back on chat. Yeah, I'm doing well. I had, of course, my body tried to sabotage me last night. So I was trying to get a headache this morning, and then I couldn't sleep. And I'm like, are you kidding me? I've got a subathon coming. Are you kidding me? Blah. 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 Stinky fish. So yeah, where were we? You're at 16.8k points. You finally got your Gift to version 2 model finished and working. Excellent. Man, I wish. I had told, before I went on my hiatus before this, I said I was going to get my new model done before this event, and I worked like crazy on it. I legit for 2 weeks for nothing but the time I got up to the time I went to bed, it was me working on it. But I ended up running into a few design issues, and as time was and I was running into software issues too that I eventually figured out. But hello Midnight. Hello. Welcome in. It is a big day. Could have easily guessed what you're doing instead of N1. I mean, because of your doctor. Yeah, I saw you were at the doctor's. Not dropping anything yet because Apple are thieves. I lost track of myself here. Chris, as to what happened? What happened on what? But anyway, yeah, I'm kind of developing on the new model. I was rigging a lot of it. Like, a lot of the base rigging is finished, but I kept running into a few issues. Like, one thing is, my model's not center to the canvas, which a lot of time they'll tell you, oh, it'll be easier on you. You know, if you watch, like, tutorial videos and whatnot, they'll be like, oh, it'll just be easier on you if your model is centered to the canvas. You can do something else if it's not, but we'll get to that video later, and then they never get to it. So, much like this model, hang on, can I get center? Yeah. Like, see, my tail makes me not center. And so it was causing issues because when you rig something, you can flip your rigging around, so you don't have to, like, say if I turn my head to the left and I do all that rigging, I get it all looking nice, and then it's like, oh god, I gotta do it on the other side. I gotta do it facing the other way and make it look exactly the same. Well, there's a little thing you can make it, you inverse the action. But if you're not center your canvas, it messes up. So, basically, because, yeah, my other model's not center canvas, I couldn't get that action to work right, and it was causing strange things on the flip. I eventually figured out how to fix that problem. I had to figure it out for myself. So I lost an entire day to that. And then it was like, the ear design I had wasn't working right. Because, I even posted on social media the ear design. Because actually on my new model, my head turns more than this. So of course, the more you move, the more things have to, like, warp and bend, and things get exposed and all that kind of stuff. So, why not put the tail on last? It's possible to do, but it's very difficult to expand your canvas. I suppose I could have put it on last. And honestly, I could have just expanded the canvas so that everything but my tail was center. But I don't think like that. So that's kind of what happened. Although, hey, Jerry. This might be uncapped subathon, but at least there are socks. Yes, there are socks. Gotta wear my socks. Because, again, has morale improved? What'd I say about Pride Month? It keeps going until morale improves. Has morale improved? So yeah, it was like, and I kept losing time on it, and as the clock was ticking down, I was like, okay, well, I wanted to do this for the subathon, but I'm gonna have to, like, not do it. And then Ashen
Ashine
Dice.
gifted a tier 1 sub to Blizzard Icy.
Thank you for ah.
Ashine gifted a tier 1 sub to
Thank
Oko
you for the
1.
gift subs. It also shows my clock is working too. I was hoping it was working.
Ashine gifted a tier 1 sub to Madra 213 underscore Blackjack MLP. Ashine gifted a tier 1 sub to Wireball underscore the underscore real. Ashine gifted a tier 1 sub to Studio Mega.
Proof the centricism causes problems. No, actually, centricism was going to make things easier if I had done it right. So the more you move and the more things you have to stretch and warp, aka turning 30. Yeah, exactly. Yes, thank you for the subs, Ashen Knight. Thank you so much. Shows my clock is working too. Good. How is everyone? Pride Month forever? Yes. Besides, if you put the tail on last, it just turns into a game of pin the tail on the pony. Was that a Neopets jingle? What Neopets jingle? You got a headache and you can't sleep yet? Oh. Well, I know you're trying to like reset your sleep schedule, but don't do it to like the point you don't feel good, because then that'll ruin everything. As someone who's a chronic night owl, making yourself feel terrible will not help. More like resets a loose term, more like fucking it up. The sun alert. You thought it was the sun alert? The sub alert. I don't know. It's one of the default ones. Yeah. You see that? Hey. I was wondering how long until. Oh, thank you for the pets. I was wondering how long you would notice until I actually named my points. 8 years. It took me 8 years to name my, well, didn't always have the channel points. Whenever they enacted that. It took me that long. Hey, Zinio! How you doing? Oh, Prime! Thank you for the tier 2 sub for 74 months. Holy crackerjacks. What does the Phantom Zone do? I don't know. I wouldn't recommend pushing it. That's all I'm saying. Why throw fish at me? So what are my goals? I'm not good at coming up with goals, but there are the 3 primary ones. Because remember last year, it drove Nelly insane that I never had self-care buttons. You'll notice they're missing again. Oh yes, I've cleared the redeems out, so we'll be able to get the stats at the end. So please, mods, don't clear out my redeems, okay? I cleared them out last night. There was like going back 7 months. But yeah. Yeah, see, there's no self-care buttons because it drove Nelly nuts. So last year I said if we hit certain goals, I would add the buttons. But I said they would only exist for a year. And guess what? The year has passed. So the self-care buttons are gone. You'll have to earn them back. Got over 200k channel points. This is going to be chaos. Oh no. Yeah, because I want to be able to get like stats, like, you know, at the end of the subathon, like how many apples were thrown, you know, stuff like that. I can get the stats at the end. Did we get a sub train? Ooh, not sub train, hype train. We got a hype train going. Is it tempting to disable your self-care buttons? Oh my! For, for, for,
Oh, hey, a bit.
No self-care buttons, fun elegant boo-hoo. Ha ha ha.
the whole damn system broke. Oh my god.
Xanomuck gifted a tier 1 sub to root_Felix_Bjorn. Xanomuck gifted a tier 1 sub to Tridashi. Xanomuck gifted a tier 1 sub to.
Are you kidding me? Zinio!
Xanomuck gifted a tier 1 sub to Saber.
Are you kidding? 100 gifted subs? Holy shit!
Xanomuck gifted a tier 1 sub to Thetrash Keeper Hoopy. Xanomuck gifted a tier 1 sub to Mr_Nate89. Xanomuck gifted a tier 1 sub to
Well, this is going on for a
China_NYC.
while. Also, thank you for the
Xanomuck
bits.
gifted a tier 1 sub to Arc Nightmare.
I lost who it was.
Xanomuck gifted a tier 1 sub to Gatorade78.
What the fuck? God. It's so... Action Dice, you give me the bits.
Xanomuck
Okay.
gifted a tier 1 sub to Crow_Stray Soul.
Thank you for the sub.
Xanomuck
Oh my
gifted
god.
a tier 1 sub to Jerry Eris.
Oh my
Xanomuck
god.
gifted a tier 1 sub to Najua.
Yo! How? How have you done this?
Xanomuck gifted a tier 1 sub to Orchid the Fey Moth.
Well. Holy fish buckets.
Xanomuck gifted a tier 1 sub to Derpsty6_9.
Level 12 hype train too. Holy god.
Xanomuck gifted a tier 1 sub to Ankarian.
So do you get every fun for
Xanomuck
broken
gifted a
stream?
tier 1 sub to Mariah 12 Mies. Xanomuck gifted a tier 1 sub
That
to
means,
Gustav
yes,
underscore
that means the
13.
self-care buttons are back.
Xanomuck gifted a tier 1 sub to D_R_R_K_Starboy.
You did knock out all your goals last year. Time to do it again. Yeah, you did.
Xanomuck
Holy
gifted a
Ow!
tier 1 sub to DGX.
Get those away from me.
Xanomuck gifted a tier 1 sub to Derps 456.
Oh my
Xanomuck
god.
gifted a tier 1 sub to Js Production STV.
Well, I guess that, yeah, the self-care buttons are back.
Xanomuck gifted a tier 1 sub to
Yay! So yeah, I added some
Xanomuck
new
gifted a tier
redeems.
1 sub to Louise.
I was working on new emotes, but I couldn't get them to look right. So I'm gonna have to keep working on them.
Xanomuck gifted a tier 1 sub to Kenneth the Hero.
So yeah, I put time into getting the new
Xanomuck gifted a
I
tier
got
1
some
sub
new
to Kill
redeems
the
in.
X-Hunted.
Okay,
24.
well, all right. The self-care buttons are back.
Xanomuck gifted a tier 1 sub to Leonardo_803. Xanomuck gifted a tier 1 sub to Severith. Xanomuck gifted a tier 1 sub to Argor Demon.
There they are. They're back. You might have to refresh, but they're back.
Xanomuck gifted a tier 1 sub to Scarlet's
Hydrate,
Fate.
okie dokie. And a stretch.
Xanomuck gifted a tier 1 sub to Deathringtail. Xanomuck gifted a tier 1 sub to Towser Pony.
That's an all-time, it says all-time record shattered. Yay!
Xanomuck gifted a tier 1 sub to Mead Rockbreaker.
Oh my gosh.
Xanomuck gifted a tier 1 sub to
Alright, let
Resegator
me make-
37.
Actually, Wakaluna's not here right now. She's at
Xanomuck
work.
gifted a tier 1 sub to Deathska.
I am home alone right now.
Xanomuck gifted a tier 1 sub to Midnight Cat Hologram.
72 hours, there goes your week.
Xanomuck gifted a tier
How
1
am I
sub
besides
to
being
Ponies
broken?
Online.
Well, I've been excited for this. The end
Xanomuck gifted a tier
the
1
end is
sub
never
to
the end. It's
Kreuzritter.
never the end. It's never the end. It's never the end. That's where the bucket came from. That's where the bucket emote came from. Nelly made it, but the
gifted a
bucket's
tier
from,
1 sub
from
to
that
Good
game.
Monster. Xanomuck gifted a
We're
tier
not
1 sub to
even
Belka
20
Semi.
hours. We're not even 30 minutes in.
Xanomuck gifted a tier 1 sub to Fluttershy 2501.
God, that's gonna go on for so long.
Xanomuck gifted a tier 1 sub to The Tree Hugger 5000.
Figured Z was gonna do a thing.
Xanomuck
with not
gifted a tier 1 sub
100.
to
I
Alexandra
wasn't
Bugadope.
expecting that much either. Oh my god.
Xanomuck gifted a tier 1 sub to Elif_Wolf. Xanomuck gifted a tier 1 sub to Warp Up Wiggles.
You guys are amazing. You know that? You all like.
Xanomuck gifted a tier 1
You
sub
guys
to
are
Iron
all like
Fox.
amazing. This is why I've been doing this for 8 years now. This is why.
Xanomuck
Because you
gifted a
guys.
tier
I
1
wouldn't do
sub
this
to
if it wasn't for you
Grissamabra
guys. Also, you know, I
Xanomuck
want to make one
gifted a
thing
tier
clear.
1 sub to
Nobody put
Skittle
yourself in
Adachi.
like financial dire straits, okay? Please, for me.
Xanomuck
Make sure you're
gifted
all
a tier
financially
1 sub
secure,
to
okay?
C_2_R.
Hey, horror pony.
Xanomuck gifted a tier 1 sub to Sunset Serenade Last Lullaby.
Which, that being said as well, you know, I should also preface this with,
Xanomuck gifted a tier 1 sub to Colton 107.
you don't have to sub to hang out, you know? If you want to chill, if you want to lurk, that is completely
Xanomuck
okay.
gifted a tier 1 sub to Raider Gaming Sweden.
So put yourself in debt. God, no, don't.
Xanomuck gifted a tier 1 sub to Blixtwolf.
Because I would feel so bad about that. Oh, if you're already in debt, take care of yourself, please.
Xanomuck gifted a tier 1 sub to Itzburahart.
Wow.
Xanomuck gifted a tier 1 sub to Max0_0.
All right,
Black.
good night, everybody. No. Oh my goodness.
Xanomuck gifted a tier 1
Okay,
sub
so-
to Dragon Overlord 90.
A couple things that I haven't been able to say yet in terms of like
Xanomuck
the
gifted a
rules
tier
with
1
this.
sub to Wingsong 5555.
I am very much taking care of myself. I will be taking
Xanomuck
frequent
gifted
breaks.
a tier 1 sub to Mupfan 1.
And oh no!
Xanomuck gifted a tier 1 sub to
Thank you
Cheese
for-
God
Thank
86.
you for the gift sub and the bot got one. Elysium bot got a sub.
Xanomuck gifted a tier 1 sub to Captain_Boot. Xanomuck gifted a tier 1
What
sub
was
to
I
Revelation
saying?
7.
So you missed that. Yeah, how did you miss the bot?
Xanomuck
100
gifted
subs.
a tier 1 sub to Damien Helmsinklinkod 2003.
Felt weird that Elysium didn't have one.
Xanomuck gifted a tier 1 sub to Silver Wishes.
That's true. She can use my emotes now. She couldn't before. She can use them now.
Xanomuck gifted
that
a
right,
tier
Elysium?
1 sub to Noah Brony 76.
Elysium worked.
Xanomuck gifted a tier 1 sub to Fatty Arsd. Xanomuck gifted a tier 1 sub to Kite_Utsumaki.
Wait.
Xanomuck
No,
gifted a
no,
tier 1
wait a
sub to
second
Trump
here.
Oaf Peace. Xanomuck gifted a tier 1 sub to M Foxy.
Oh no.
Xanomuck
Ow,
gifted
ow,
a tier 1
ow,
sub
ow,
to
ow,
Zillion.
ow, 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 ow,
And just beat the devil out of him.
Xanomuck gifted a tier 1 sub to Moonshine_Measure.
Blah. Always with the fish. Always follows it up with the fish.
Xanomuck gifted a tier 1 sub to OO Celis.
Fatty arse in there. I don't know. Thank you for the pets.
Xanomuck gifted a tier
You
1
thought the
sub to
Applejack.
Riri
Thank you
Oxblood.
for the boops.
Why? Because it's science, that's why.
Xanomuck gifted a tier 1
Got two
sub to
dragon fruit
Fidget
cactus
_the
yesterday. Is
_bat
that where
_
dragon
pony.
fruit comes from? I never knew
Xanomuck gifted a tier 1 sub to
that.
Lokiran.
Bonk. Wait, where'd that come from? Oh, I never fixed that one. That one's not right.
Xanomuck
Hang
gifted
on.
a tier 1 sub to Xkaz
You're
124.
gonna see behind the magic here. I never fixed that one.
Xanomuck gifted a tier 1 sub to Quartz Scan.
That's the wrong one.
Xanomuck gifted a tier 1 sub to Aceplay _pony. Xanomuck gifted a tier 1 sub to Kendo Studios _official.
There we go. I forgot to change that one over.
Xanomuck gifted a tier 1 sub to Starfire 99999.
This is Ash's a squishy bone.
Xanomuck gifted a tier 1 sub to Arson.
Oh, this best ponies here. Well, I figured now that the apples are back,
Xanomuck
instead of
gifted
it being
a tier
apple
1 sub to
blooms,
Hayden _Splendor.
that it just be full-grown apples. A few hours
Xanomuck
later, I
gifted
know
a
it's
tier
still
1
going.
sub to Cirrus 225.
Okay. So some disclaimers here.
Xanomuck
So,
gifted a tier 1 sub to Nova
much like last year,
2923.
I will be taking care of myself. So the way this works is
Xanomuck gifted a tier 1 sub to TV Lestrade.
at the end of the day, I'm not going for 72 hours straight. Okay. I
Xanomuck
will be
gifted
going
a
to
tier
sleep.
1 sub to
But
Legendary
when I do, the
Jelly.
timer will stop. I will pause the timer. I'll leave the stream running, and I've even got some
Xanomuck gifted a
videos
tier
queued
1
up.
sub to Nakama.
queued up to watch. I'll even show you. I'll go over here. Which
Xanomuck gifted a tier 1 sub to Your Paltinate.
yeah, I got 100 subs before even getting to the disclaimer.
Xanomuck gifted a tier 1 sub to Opalinia.
So like over here. The video's not showing right now. But like you'll see where it says Conan Exiles 2022. That's what you'll be watching. At night before I go to bed, like I'll pause that timer up there and keep the stream running, and I'll just go nap. I'll just oh, if only I could fall asleep that quickly. and there'll be a video playing there, so the sub timer will stop, but the uptime timer will keep going. And then at the start, before I start the next day, I will briefly stop the stream and restart it. It makes it easier for me to archive later. Plus, apparently, VODs, if they go over 48 hours, they just go poof. So, it's just easier that way. So, yeah, at the start of, right before I start every day, I'll stop and restart the stream. That's what, ouch. That's why there's an uptime counter. If the stream breaks or just anything, you know, computer crashes, whatever. Yeah. And the, ow. I'll be taking frequent breaks. I'll be getting up. I'll be stretching. I'll be walking around. You know, generally before and after a stream, I'll probably get up and, like, stretch. And probably, like, halfway through, I'll, you know, get up and do stretches and, you know, beyond my normal breaks, right? And if I'm not feeling well, I will end early for that day. I'll, like, go back to the sleeping screen and I'll end early. I'll pause the timer and everything. Last year, that did kind of happen once. There was one day where I was streaming. I was kind of headachy and really tired. I think we went about 4 hours before I was like, I'm just too exhausted. And we stopped for the day, and I came back the next day feeling happy and nice. So, like I say, the stream will keep going unless there's emergencies. And if there is some kind of emergency, whether it be health or something else, I'll try my best to bring it back, but disclaimer, if it must end, it must end. Okie dokie? Do we understand? But yeah, there was one case last year where I did have to end a bit early, and I think at one point, I think on day 10, I actually did stop the stream for a full day, because I needed to do something else that day. And then I came back and we finished off, so that's basically how it's going to work. So don't worry too much about my health. I will be paying close attention. Of course, now that the self-care buttons are back, you can hit me up and make sure I'm taking frequent breaks. And like if I'm taking an extended break, I'll also pause the timer. If it's a normal break, I won't pause the timer. But if it's like I got to go get up and like cook dinner or something, or I just really need to get up and walk around for a while, I'll pause the timer as well. Sound good? Because this stuff is very hard on the body. And I've been, you know, I may be a small streamer, but I am a professional. I've been doing this for 8 years now. This stuff can be very hard on the body, and people have gained severe health issues doing this kind of stuff. There's people that have had, like, you know, strokes. People died doing this, and I take it very, very seriously. So, yes. So don't worry if, like, the timer's insanely high. I will be doing what is best for my health. Okie dokie. I just don't want people to worry. I know last year a lot of people got worried because we weren't expecting it to go on for so long. None of us expected it to go on as long as it did last year. And I think a lot of people were getting worried about my health. And I was like, I promise, I'm taking care of myself. And ow, 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 ouch, ow, 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 ow. Always with the fish. You always gotta follow it up with the fish, don't you? What's it like being a cute Pegasus? You know, it opens a lot of doors. I don't understand, but can you say the whole thing in Dutch? Oh, fuck's sake. Thank you for the boot. God, I don't even know half those words in Dutch. I used to know. I've forgotten a lot of the body parts, unfortunately. That's one of the things. I've spent a lot of this year catching up on the work I was too busy with last year. And I'm getting caught up, and yeah, so I'll be doing a lot of backlog stuff. Okie dokie. Let's see. Let me go roll back through chat just to make sure. Yeah, health and personal stuff is definitely most important. Like I say, I take this incredibly seriously. So we need a translation on now. That the Luna's gonna have to do that one. My Dutch isn't that good. You like the fish. Your task is subathon. Fastest wins. Time starts now. Oh no. No wait, I was supposed to wait. Your task is subathon. Fastest wins. Your time starts now. See, you gotta buy yourself that extra time. in our watch parties on Saturday, Digi started showing us Taskmaster, the British one. I'd never seen it before. So we started watching that. It is very good. I've been enjoying it. I think Digi put it up the other night when I was busy getting things set up as well. How heavy is water? I heard that line and I was like, I wanted to follow up with how long's a piece of string. Oh my goodness. You guys are nuts. You guys are nuts. You know that? I love you all. You guys are all awesome. I appreciate everyone that supports me. Not just financially, but also just hanging out, you know? All of it is appreciated. It's why I do this. 8 years now. I've been doing it. I didn't think I'd do it. I don't stick to anything. With my like hyper focus on things, I don't stick to anything. But I've stuck with this for 8 years. There's a board game for Taskmaster. Where's the fun in being sane? I couldn't tell you. That would require medication. That's a lot of nonsense. I actually I think I disabled that redeem. I went back and I kind of cleared some of them as well. As I added some new redeems, I cleared some old ones. Just because I didn't want the like redeem section to get too crowded. Because I didn't want you guys to like have to scroll through about 1 billion redeems. Thank you for sticking out and providing solid content and entertainment. Well, thank you. I hope it's been good entertainment. I've tried. I mean, I love doing this. I like entertaining. It's one of my favorite things to do. I have social anxiety real bad, and this is one of those things that lets me get around it. I'm able to get around it doing this. I like entertaining. I so wish I could have had my model done for this. There was, it's back on the model focus. There were things like, because when I was working, I was ticking off things like this isn't going to be ready for subathon. This isn't. Eventually, when I was working, I was like, okay, just have the model done for subathon. But it was like, because I want to do a cool reveal when it's ready. I've been like pondering ideas for months for when it's ready. It's like, I want to do this cool thing. And I was like, I'm not going to do that thing. And I was like, okay, I need to refocus. So we got some things. But yeah, of course, because I canceled the debut of the model, I didn't have to push this back. Because it was actually my Twitch anniversary was this past Thursday, and I was gonna start that Friday, and then I pushed it back to today because I was like, I need more time. Oh yeah. Ugh. Already 72 and a half hours. We gotta go. And it can still go more. What were the stats? I actually have, okay. Do you guys want the stats for last year? Because I still have them. Somewhere. Enjoying watching my streams. Thank you. About to see if you win a medium house in Final Fantasy in like 12 minutes. Ooh. Do a lot of fish and stuff. I wish I had those stats. Unfortunately, I couldn't, because we're gonna try to track those stats this year. Unlike how many apples were thrown, how many fish were thrown. I unfortunately wasn't able to gather those stats last year. So last year, where did we end up to? Okay, there it is. So you guys added 103.5 sub hours. Through subs alone, you guys added 103 and a half hours. And through bits, you guys added 36 hours and 15 minutes. Is how much you guys added to my subathon. The grand total of subs was 207. And uptime, the entire uptime total, that was including sleep, was 260 hours, 56 minutes, and 3 seconds. And we ran for 12 days. Not including the day I had to take off. We ran for 12 days. So those are the stats of last year. Hopefully this year I'll be able to, like I say, track the throwing stuff. I'm already at 72. Oh, I know. So yeah, that was last year's stats. You guys blew me away last year. Last year was my first subathon. And I was like, yeah, we'll probably go for like 2, maybe 3 days. Maybe. And then Zinio rolls in. And makes sure I'm here for much longer. Right off the bat, and then everyone else follows. Everyone else is just dumping subs. Every one of you. It was, let's see, who all was it? Zinio dumped a bunch. Prime dumped a bunch. I think Nelly did. There were so many of you, and I feel bad that I don't know who all did it. There was like so many. Nelly, yeah, Nelly did. I think so many people that came in did at least one. Oh. You guys are awesome. I was also hoping to have all my new assets done. I really wanted this subathon to be like the unveiling of everything new. But time makes fools of us all, right? It keeps on ticking. Okie dokie. So I have things on my list. Here are some games I have on my list to do this year. Now I kind of pieced it out because of course I didn't know how long we go, so I'm kind of just like, and plus what we play depends on how long it is. But things I have on my list. I'm tempted to play Death Stranding again. I played it once on stream when it first came to PC. My girlfriend's been playing it lately, and I kind of really want to play it again. I have set up a custom arc. I have set up Minecraft All the Mods 8. At some point we have to do Trucking Sim, because that's just tradition at this point. I'm thinking at some point we can do Played Up. Played Up is fun. Have I ever played Only Up? No, but I've seen it. Fix Discord. Oh, was your Discord busted? Yeah, we played Dinkum last year. Any comfy stuff like Dinkum? There's another game I was looking at that's supposed to be kind of comfy. I mean, we could always play Dinkum at some point. There has been updates to it. Let me check my Steam. There was another one that came out recently that kind of piqued my interests. Let me check. What was it called? I Am Future. That's it. I Am Future. That one's like a cozy. That one's actually kind of described as a cozy game. So there's that one. We could look into. Might do a spooky game. Last year we did Mortuary Assistant. So we might do it. We might pick out a spooky game this year. Played the demo for it. It was fun. Yeah, it looked kind of neat. So we might try in future. I mean, it's literally called Cozy Apocalypse Survival. It's literally what it's called. Also, why is my Discord being weird? It's cutting off names. Why is Discord cutting off names? So yeah, there's that one. One of the after we had finished Final Fantasy 16, the game I intended to replace it with was Medieval Dynasty. It was a toss-up between that or Forever Skies. But Forever Skies is so new at the moment, I thought I might let that one bake in the oven a little while longer. Just because they kind of have big updates. You know, much like Planet Crafter does. Is, you know, they have big updates. We played Planet Crafter in the past, and that one's had a lot of updates. And I kind of want to give Forever Skies some time to bake so we don't constantly go back and forth between that one. Yeah, what else we got? What are some there was a horror game hang on, let me see here. So I mean, there is one, of course, horror game that is apparently very big right now, of course. My Friendly Neighborhood. I don't have it, but we can get it, of course. That one's like the Sesame Street kind of horror. There's that one. There was another one I was looking at. Where is it? Best horror game is Bug Snacks. We played Bug Snacks last year. Remember? Hey, Axiom. Welcome, welcome. Thank you very much. What was this one I was looking at? Is this one even out yet? This one might not be out yet, actually. No, it is out. When I looked at it, it wasn't out yet. I have to look it up, see if it's any good. Is Friendly Neighborhood PC only? Good question. I don't know. I'll be playing most stuff on PC. I have a PS5, but which we might do Death Stranding. If we do Death Stranding, I'll do it on PS5. Let me look up this one. So yeah, we might try those. Think so. I haven't seen it on console. My Friendly Neighborhood is so goofy. You love it. Yeah, I was looking into that one. I remember Nelly played a demo of it a while back, and I thought, this looks so kooky. We have to play it. How you doing, Axiom? How have you been? Party stuff. Oh, that's true. That is true. I keep forgetting, like, I keep remembering that one, and I keep forgetting it all at the same time. Sea of Thieves. Because there's the Monkey Island stuff. That is one that was on my list. Because we haven't done that one in a while. That one could be fun. Cooking today. You're making gumbo? I've never had gumbo. Gumbo looks delicious. I want to have gumbo. As Joe says, I'll take 2. I love all your cooking pictures. Axiom's on Mastodon, and they post like the most delicious looking food pictures and adventures. And I'm so jealous. Oh, they always look so delicious. Is dying. Could be gone at any moment. Well, hopefully, if your phone does die, have a good time zone. I don't know what time it is for everyone. For me, it is like 5 p.m. I think Rachel will tell you she takes the best food photos. It always looks so good. Some of them I look at and I'm like, I wonder if I could make that. I actually, despite me playing a character that cannot cook, I'm actually quite a good cook. I just don't cook very often. Okay, you don't make anything really hard. I think sometimes it's just finding ingredients. Just wear your lab coat. Finding ingredients can be difficult. I know one of the things, a lot of times I'll try to make foods that I used to like when I was in the States, and it's sometimes very hard to find the equivalent here. It can be very tricky. It's about 9 a.m. for you. I know, it's starting to not to start too early for everyone. Cooking is tedious. I do like cooking a lot. I don't like cleaning up. I hate cleaning up. What's my country again? I'm from the US, but I live in the Netherlands. So I get a lot of Dutch cuisine, which is good. I like a lot of Dutch food. It's very delicious. But of course, I get a hankering for American food quite often. In fact, whenever I go back to the US, it's like I have a list of things I must have. Just finding what you can delete to make room for Ark's extra thickness. Yes, Ark is stupid big. And plus I've added a few mods that are kind of big. Lived in France and Italy for a year. You know what it's like to have all the bounty in the world, but not the specific stuff you remember and love. That's like such a big one. It's like, yeah. And the hilarious thing, like even fast food is different here. Here's something that here's a food story. Something that absolutely blows me away. We have a KFC in this country. In the States, KFC has, chicken, biscuits, mashed potatoes, gravy, that kind of stuff, right? Now, of course, biscuits aren't really a thing here. So understandably, KFC doesn't have them. This KFC also doesn't have mashed potatoes and gravy. The gravy, maybe I could understand. Maybe I could understand that. The mashed potatoes, I don't understand, because a very big staple of Dutch cuisine is stamppot. And it is mashed potatoes mixed with usually something else, either a vegetable or a meat or both, sometimes even fruit. this KFC does not have mashed potatoes. And I'm like, why? This is the country that's like your staple food is mashed potatoes. Why don't you have it? I did learn how to make a KFC gravy equivalent though, which is very excellent. I learned how to make that. First time I ever made gravy. And it tastes pretty spot on to the KFC version, so it was like, ah. And it was actually specifically made for somebody who was an expat here in the Netherlands. It was specifically using Dutch items, and I was like, ah, yeah, we got it. Yeah, no mashers. None. They have the gall to call themselves KFC. The same with British KFC. I don't know if the first KFC franchise was in your state. Like, you should know that, but you don't go to KFC. Speculoos in everything? Speculoos. My first thought is, what is speculoos? I don't think I've heard that one. I've gotten into the habit of putting MSG in things. Speculous. The cookies. Speculous. It's familiar. My brain's freezing on it. Hang on. Hang on. Internet, save me from my embarrassment. Let me see. I think I know what you're talking. Oh, those things.
Final 79 gifted a tier 1 sub to Axiom Fox.
Thank you for the gifts, Final. Hi, Final. They're actually spelled, the speculas. Speculas. That's it. I'll spell it out. It's very weird. Speculas. It's a butter cookie. It's basically, well, it's sort of a butter cookie. It basically is a butter cookie. Actually, I did the English spelling of it. It's because I was like, we don't use C in a lot of things. Speculas. Like that. Yeah. One thing about the Dutch language, C is not used very much in the Dutch language. Which is weird, because my real name starts with C. And crumbled the ice cream and cakes and butter-like spreads. I'll call it authentic Dutch cooking. I don't know. I don't know if I've ever had that particular thing. Thank you for the boob. Hey, D. I know, like, yeah, I don't think I've ever tried that. One of my most favorite things that I absolutely adore, and they're seasonal, oliebollen. I love oliebollen. Delicious. You have time to go cook. Enjoy your cooking. I want to see pictures. You don't have to show pictures. If you happen to show pictures, I want to see them. Thank you for stopping in. Yeah, speculas. We actually had some in our cupboard, like, for the first time in like a year, just recently. So so like I said, I was saying earlier, I had set up Minecraft and I set up Ark, and for frick's sake, Ark servers are a madness thing. But I also tweaked it out and nerfed like everything. uh, ugh. Where are we at? We've been going for almost an hour. Almost an hour. Only 72 hours to go currently. uh, oh man. Surprised Ark's still a thing. It's still surprisingly popular. It's one of those things that people are. I have a weird relationship with Ark. Like, Ark is one of those games that, like, people that play it really, really like it, and they're always like, oh, it's the best survival game. And then I try to play it and learn it, and I don't get very far because the game just wrecks me, and plus, all its default, like, settings make it very grindy because it's meant to be, like, multiplayer, right? You can play it single player, of course. But it's meant to be, like, with other people. So it's kind of grindy in terms of you need, like, it's such an item sink. And, normally I get frustrated. And, of course, there's, like, a billion settings in that game. And they're poorly worded sometimes. Like, one of the things that always just, like, blows me away is one of the things that's called, like, player damage resistance. Now, you would think if you increase player damage resistance, that means you would take less damage. No. It means you take more damage. Because they worded that wrong. And, but anyway, so yeah, the settings are a bit of a pain. There's a billion settings, which are good. But, yeah, if you don't know what anything is, it can be a very pain to, like, set it up. And quite often I've made several attempts to play it, and I would just go online and be like, okay, what are the settings that make this game the easiest? And everyone on the internet is a fucking liar. Every last one of them. Because one of the first things they say is make sure difficulty is set to 5, and they go, okay, look, here's the reason. Is because it makes sure all the dinosaurs are level 150, which you think that's not easy, and you're right. It's not easy. But it's sort of like a difficulty curve where it's like, well, that means that's the max dinos can be, and all the dinosaurs you raise after that can go higher than that. And it's like, sure, they're like, you just need to get over the hump. And it's like, I don't want to get over the hump. I don't want there to be a hump. So, yeah, normally every playthrough I did of Ark always ended in a bit of frustration or boredom because of the grind. And so I never got very far and saw what all the hype was about. And I started playing again recently because I was kind of having a hankering to, like, try again. And I found a map I really enjoyed. We're not playing that map. And it let me kind of get a foothold, and it let me tweak. I started to understand a lot of the settings to tweak, and I was like, oh, this is so much nicer. And then I found mods that just really sucked the grind right out of it, and I was like, oh, this is even nicer. Suddenly, this is great. And so I started enjoying it quite a bit. I was playing it quite a bit before I got really busy before this. And I learned a lot of mechanics that I hadn't known. Out of years of trying to play that game, there were so many mechanics I hadn't learned before, and I learned them now. So it's like, yay! I kind of know how to play Ark now. Sort of. Not entirely. I haven't done anything like bosses or anything, but it's like, yay! You're supposed to be releasing Ark and re-releasing Ark, and you have to pay for it all over again. Yeah, they're releasing Ark Ascended, what they're calling it. So they're releasing 2 Arks. There's Ark Ascended, which is supposed to be like updated because the engine it's on now is very old, and they want to like release the Ark Ascended as like the new Unreal Engine. I think, like, clean up a lot of their code because they're like, yeah, our code's a mess. It's an absolute mess and a nightmare. And they wanted to clean that up. I think making people pay for Ark Ascended, maybe with a discount, maybe. I mean, the game goes on insane discount all the time anyway, so who knows. But yeah. And then they will be releasing Ark 2 at some point, starring Vin Diesel, because apparently it's his favorite game in the world. He plays it with his kid. And so apparently he's like, apparently they're going to make a movie. Apparently there's a movie in the works. Who knows? You always hear that kind of stuff, and it's like, you know, is that actually happening? Because, you know, they release a video of it, and they're like, it's coming in the future, and it's like 10 years later, you finally hear, it's like, yeah, it's still on the way. It's kind of like a Viscera cleanup duty. They've been saying for like many, many years now, they're updating it to Unreal, the new Unreal Engine. It's just like, it must take a while. They're getting a lot of push for how they're handling the sequel and such. This is for video games. Re-releases for video games are very common these days. Just, yeah, a lot of reasons they redo old movies to hold on to the IP, so they don't go into public domain. That's why Disney makes all these live-action remakes. It's not because they want to make live-action remakes. It's because it renews their hold on the IP. Driving home from the doctor's listening. Sorry, I'm scrolling back through. Also, you found the charger. I'm scrolling back through the chat here. Don't let ARC players hear about mods. They'll start talking about how you should work for your stuff. Fuck that. My statement about here's my take on not only mods but video game settings, like easy mode. Play what you want. Mod the game however you want. Put it on the easiest or hardest setting if you want. I don't care. I've been playing games since games were both intentionally and unintentionally impossible. I've done my time in the video game mines. I'm relaxing on the beach now. It's my time to relax. But that's what they said about the BioShock movie. I'm surprised you've Vin Diesel in Ark and playing it. Yeah, that was a shocker. But yeah, like there is a trailer for Ark 2 out there, and it's like got him in it. Maybe you should let comedians make video games like in Taskmaster. By the way, Baldur's Gate 3 is consuming your mind. There are so many people. There's surprisingly nobody playing it right now. On my Steam list, like at one point, I think like 8 people on my Steam list were playing it all at the same time. Not even together. Just that's how many people. It's like I've never seen that many people playing a game at the same time on my Steam list, let alone the same game. When's out here with spicy takes? I have the spiciest takes. The Nintendo hard era. Yeah. Like, yeah, Battletoads. Battletoads. Oh my god. But like, yeah, technically my first game system was an Atari. Actually, no, my technical first game system was Pong. My mom had an old system that you plugged into the TV, and it was the 2 dials, and you just flicked switches for the different games. And then a hand-me-down Atari. And then I had the first NES. Can fix that for you, and you start playing it right now. It's so good. Yours was the NES. Yeah, I would say my first new console was the NES. I got that when it came out. Was it my birthday or Christmas? I don't remember. I was like 5 or 6 when I got it. But yeah. So yeah, when it comes to like game difficulty, I don't care. No difficulty shaming. no mod shaming if you want, like, if this game is super hell, I don't care if you play Dark Souls with like a trainer that makes it like so you can't even take hits. I don't care. If you're having fun playing a game, play it how you want. I just don't enjoy it. Games are meant to be fun. If you like the hard grind, play the hard grind. If you don't like it, don't. Let people enjoy stuff. And yes, here as well, although you did have an Atari 2600. I had an Atari, and I cannot remember which type it was. It was the type that had a built-in keyboard. And it came with a cartridge for BASIC. At the time, I was too young to know what BASIC was. But then when I got older, I learned what BASIC was, but then that Atari didn't work anymore. Your parents wouldn't let you get a console for a while. The rule was when my mom bought me the Nintendo, she was like, okay, here you go. I'm not buying you anything else for it. If you want anything else for it, you save up for it. The only exceptions were like once in a while Christmas or, you know, birthdays. But it was like anything else I want, I pay for. Because, you know, she didn't want me to like get addicted to video games, you know, and like potentially do something like that for a living in the future. Make a professional job out of it or something. After that, I did like save up for everything. I didn't get an allowance either. If I wanted money, I had to like mow lawns and wash cars and vacuum the house. I didn't get an allowance. I had to work for my money. After that, I ended up buying my own Super Nintendo, my own Sega Genesis, my own Game Gear. I never had a Game Boy. I had wished I had gotten a Game Boy. I did get like the Game Boy Advance, and then the DS and all that. I got my first PlayStation 1, that kind of stuff. You know, Sega Mega Drive and SNES growing up, fun times. Yeah, depending on where you were, it was either called Mega Drive or Genesis. You should have fun playing games, the internet. Well, you can F right off of that kind of attitude. Yeah, here we are, playing video games as a job. Literally made a PowerPoint presentation to convince your parents to buy you an N64 for your birthday when it came out. I never had an N64. I stopped with the Nintendo after the SNES. And I kind of went to PlayStation after that. I did play the N64 because, like, my stepbrother had a N64. So when I, you know, went visiting on weekends, I would get to play it. Game Boy Advance was peak. Game Boy Advance was pretty good. It sucked it had no backlight, but it was good. Playing video games as a profession? Impossible. I know, right? I mean, I've been here for an hour and 13 minutes having even touched a video game, so, you know. So far, rings true, right? Actually, I have a working Atari 2600. Nice. Pony washing cars. I hate washing cars. I think that's why I have a traumatic response to, like, a lot of cleaning things now. Because I wanted things. And so I would wash cars even though I absolutely hated it. And I would vacuum and dust even though I absolutely hated it. Because I wanted money. So now I hate washing cars. I can't stand it. I can barely tolerate vacuuming. I do it, but I can barely tolerate it. I think it's just left me with a traumatic response. Got from some of your relatives that were selling it for free. I think that means they were giving it away. I Think of that one commercial from the 80s or 90s where students are testing games and one of them said, "My mom never said I get anywhere with these games." Yeah, it's amazing. It's amazing how gaming is taken off in this fashion. UK, it's called the Mega Drive. In US, it's called Genesis. Yup. GBA's peak. It had Mega Man Battle Network. Paper Mario. I've never played a Paper Mario game. I've never played one. Like I say, I fell off Nintendo. I ended up with like a lot of the handhelds. I didn't get their like consoles anymore because like it feels like after the Super Nintendo, and now of course this is me having like no experience with them, is it feels like after the Super Nintendo, Nintendo excelled in handhelds and they kind of fell off with the big systems. That again, that's coming from someone who has no experience beyond that. And of course then they did the Switch, and like Switch is like best of both worlds. So I didn't get to play a lot of like the older Mario games. I did play Mario 64, and I even had then the remake that went on to the DS. I don't think the one that was on the DS was as good, because they added other characters and stuff. But I loved Mario. I loved Mario RPG. But I don't have the nostalgia kick that a lot of people had when they announced the remake coming out. I was like, oh, that's cool. Like, I played the hell out of that game, but I don't have the nostalgia kick for it. Sunshine was a solid game. I remember seeing it and I was like, I really wanted to play that when it was around. DS version sucks. Sunshine was great. Yeah, I didn't like Mario 64 on the DS as much. I like Mario Kart. I still enjoy Mario Kart. I'm not good at it, but I like it. Anytime anyone I know does a stream of Mario Kart, I get my butt kicked. Every time. I always think I'm better than I am, and then I get on with people, and it's like, oh no, I'm terrible. When Wii happened, it was popular, but a lot was marketed to the blue ocean. I think I kind of wanted a Wii. I was in, ow, ow. I think I wanted a Wii, but I was in college at the time. And, you know, poor college student, couldn't afford much. When PS1 RPG you want to release is Legend of Legaia. I think I played that one. I'm trying to remember that one. Kind of want a Wii. Get back on your book, damn you ADD. Boy howdy, I know what that's like. When the hyper focus just evaporates. You always wanted to play Wii 360. That cup ramen life. Ah, yeah. This battle system revolved around the D-pad. I was trying to remember. I think I played that one because after Earthbound, for like so many years, I played nothing but RPGs. Like nothing but RPGs. The only other exception to that was horror games, which are technically, I guess, RPGs, just in a different sense. But yeah. And of course Metal Gear. I love Metal Gear. It's one of my favorite game franchises, and surprisingly the way I got into it, both that and Silent Hill, back in the day during the PS1 era, Pizza Hut was giving out demo discs with like, it had Spyro on it, it had Metal Gear, it had Silent Hill, had a couple others on it. And I played Silent Hill and the demo, and I played the Metal Gear demo, and I was like, holy crap, I have to have these games. RPGs are everything. I kind of slipped off of them. I started to slip away from them a little bit. Like I've always been into Final Fantasy. And some of the old franchises I knew. But yeah, I think along about the time Fallout 3 came out, I started to kind of vary again and go back to doing variety stuff. Is the Pizza Hut the one that made the Noid game? No, that was Domino's. And they had to stop doing the Noid. Do people know why? I always wondered what happened to the Noid. And then I learned the tragic tale of what happened to it. But yeah, Pizza Hut, they used to do cool promotions. They were also the ones that did like the Read It. Was it Read It? Book It. Book It, that's what it was called. There was also a promotion they did long time ago, back in the original live action Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles movie, where you could get like a cassette of music. Nellie's been listening to that recently, and I'm like, holy fuck, the nostalgia hit that is. Because I had that cassette. Cold, yeah, pour out a cold one for the Noid. For anyone that doesn't know what it was, the slogan was always avoid the Noid. And there was actually a guy who had paranoia, clinical paranoia, and his name was Noid. And I think he took a Domino's hostage or something? I can't remember the exact thing, but it was like, yeah, because he was paranoid and avoid the Noid. So they thought they were saying avoid him. And so they stopped using that mascot after that, sadly. Oh, that Turtles cassette was so amazing. Nellie's been listening to it recently, and oh my god. It's like, I remember the order of like all the tracks. One of those perfect storms of shit situations. Yeah, it pretty much was. It really was. Oh my gosh. I probably, for the hour and a half we've been talking, I probably should have had some kind of music going on in the background instead of just, me sitting here in silence. But, oh well, too late. All right. What do we want to do? How do we want to kick off here? How do we want to kick off? How do we want to start? Was it McDonald's selling gold-plated Pokemon cards? I think that was Burger King. Burger King did the Pokemon promotions. Dolls gave cards out a lot back when you were growing up. You sure it was McDonald's? I thought it was Burger King that had the license with Pokemon. McDonald's was usually something else. I'm trying to remember what it was. Been a long time since that happened. Still a kid, and if you remember correctly, it's to coincide with the first Pokemon movie. It was... let's see. Was it both? Did both do it? Burger King having one promotion where you could get weirdo gold replica cards and little Pokeballs. Yeah, that's what I was thinking, because, yeah, they had to, like, redesign the Pokeballs, too, because, like, kids were sucking them onto their faces, and they had to redesign them so they had air holes in them. I had a couple of them. I wasn't a kid, but I was old enough to order a kid's meal. I wasn't even into Pokemon. Yet I've never gotten really into Pokemon. I've never been a big Pokemon. I've watched a couple of the movies. I've seen a couple of the episodes. I played one of the games. And I have a couple plushes. And that's it. Nuzlocke went no. Now I want Burger King. You know what I can't have? KFC used to give him? Maybe it was regional. Because, of course, some places don't have certain restaurants, so... Maybe it was regional. Then again, let's see. KFC... They're owned by, like... Some of them were owned by the same parent company. Which is why... Or Burger King for lunch. Can I have... It's so bad. I've been jonesing for a burger so hard lately. And the nearest Burger King we have is so far away. That's what sucks. And they're usually closed. The nearest Burger King is so far away and they're usually closed in the rare times we ever went past it. Oh, I've been jonesing for a burger so hard lately. Triple threat. All right, let's get something going. Shall we? Shall we get something going? Want to get a 4x4 from In-N-Out sometime? Buy one on Amazon. Should play Sneak King for all 72 hours. Good night, everybody. Hang on. Start up Octavia. That's top shelf content. Gosh, it's about dinner time too, so it's like, and I know what I'm having for dinner tonight, and it's gonna be delicious, but I've been jonesing for burgers so hard. It's hard to get good burgers around here too. Like, really hard. So many places don't have good burgers. Is it hamburgers? No. Unfortunately, no. Wife wants to know. I think we're having, what do they call it? fuck's sake, I can't remember what it's called now. The best way to describe it, it's a pasta dish. It's like pizza. It's called pizza something, but it's not pizza. But it's like there's this powder. There's this pack of spice powder. It's a pre-pack sort of thing. You like mix it in with burger meat, and then with like tomatoes and a sauce, and you mix it in with pasta. Absolutely delicious. But yeah, like it's a pre-meal. Well, it's a pre-pack thing. It's a kit. That's the word I'm thinking of. Gotta go, be back later. Okie dokie. Have a good time. Yeah, it's a kit. That's what I was trying to think of the word. It's a kit. Sometimes they don't have it at the stores. It disappeared from stores for a little while, and I was so heartbroken. There's a thing that the stores around here do. Is if I ever find anything I really like, they stop carrying it. If there's anything I really like, they stop carrying it. So I'm trying to get them back by eating foods that are traditionally Dutch, like Dutch staples, so they'll stop carrying it. It's like, I'll get you. On dueling you on a 1,000-day streak. I did that for a little while, and I think I got up to 100. But I was always doing it at an odd time. So I always had like an hour left to do it, and sometimes I would miss it. Okay, so hang on. I gotta remember where I installed this. I should have made a shortcut, but I'm an idiot. Just make hamburgers. I have a couple times, because I really like to grill. Grilling is one of my favorite things to do. And I like to think I am really good at grilling. So, I have a couple times made my own burgers. I think the last I made some about a month ago. I didn't have any fresh garlic, so I used a bit of powder and a bit of flakes. What else did I toss in there? I tossed cayenne. Cayenne, and it was delicious. I like spicy food, though. I like spicy. My stomach doesn't always like spicy, but I like spicy. I am starting it up Prime. I'll let you know when she's started. She takes a bit. We might jump into Ark in a bit here. Now Nellie's on her way back home, and Prime is... Got it. He just needs the mods, which he can't get till he tries to log in. Gotta head out for the time being. See you around much later. Much later. I will be here. I'll be here for the next at least 72 hours. Not straight, but you know. Need to get around to finishing Final Fantasy 16. Haven't had much time to play it recently. I guess, yeah, I did. I guess obviously I finished it because I did it on stream. It was good. I enjoyed it. I haven't had time to go back and finish all the hunts though. I was going to do that, but I've been busy. Doing the new model that I can't show you. Oh, I'm so disappointed I couldn't finish that. Oh, I wanted so bad to finish that. Because it's so much better than this one. Discord, why are you doing that? My Discord is, it's cutting names off. Kind of want to build a deck of iconic ultimate abilities for icons. Yeah, before you continue. She started. Yeah, she takes a while. She takes a while to start. And then yeah, getting the login on it's stupid. It's an old Steam issue. If it's one thing that is so annoying is like running games through Steam servers, like if you run a dedicated server, a lot of them use Steam as like their listing, and Steam has like a limit. It'll randomly pick like the first 1,000 at random, and if your server isn't in it, too bad. If your server isn't on the list, too bad. It's so dumb. They're getting to say, hey, are your ears working? Would you like us to destroy them for you? Default volume. Yeah, that was one thing, is like, it's one of the jokes I always say, is like, if I ever become president, I'm going to make it illegal for games to default to max volume. Default on minimum volume. Or at least half volume, for God's sakes. Especially people that wear headphones. For the love of God. That's why whenever I stream a game for the first time, I punish you all as well. Should default on low volume borderless window and low medium graphics. I agree with that. There's been a few games that I've played that like actually have started out with the volume on low, and I'm like, you know what you're doing. Like, please, for the love of God. Be not, don't blow my ears out, please. Please, don't blow my ears out. I think she's about started. I might have to check though. Let me check, see if she's. And then we get to see if you can find her in the list. If you can't find her in the list, there's another way I have to do this, which means I have to log into the game. They should also default straight to menu. Now it's powered by game issues. I remember when like you could do on Steam, some games actually have it set up where you can put the command line in to like dodge this stuff. I think I did it for Dying Light. Because I think actually having Dying Light, I think the opening broke things. I think. I can't. No, it was just, it was always super loud and it ignored volume settings. That was what it was. And so, like, they made a command line where you could just get rid of that. I'm like, thank you. Care what engines are used or who may let you play the game instead. Well, you know, it's a credits thing. And like, You know, it's probably in the rules for if you're going to use our engines or our company or our publisher, you have to put that first. It's a requirement. Hang on, she's not. She might not be fully loaded yet. No, she's not fully loaded yet. I think making it unskippable. I think I hate the ones that make it unskippable. Like, fine, make those things show up, but make them skippable. And then after you get to the main menu, let there be a setting that you can turn that off. I'm going to get a burger. Everyone's getting a burger. Bring me a burger. Bring the small horse a burger. Horse want burger. You're having chicken and rice? That's what Luna had yesterday. I had like a tuna spread sandwich. It was delicious. Me order burger tomorrow. What's the next sub goal? I'm not good at goals. Like, besides, you've already broke them. You broke all my goals. If you guys have ideas for goals, I'm willing to hear them out. Again, what again, Pog? Next goal, do a flip. Can I do a flip? Hang on. I'm trying to remember how I do this. Nope. Ah! Wah! Wah! There, how was that? The same thing happened last year, day one. Yeah, pretty much. Because I'd had my self-care buttons as a goal. And within the first hour, they were back. Or they were created. And same thing happened this year. Within 30 minutes, my self-care buttons have returned. You guys are crazy. You're all nuts. You're all nuts. Is it? Okay, I think it's running now. Let me see. Game, behave. Are you gonna crash on me? Okay, there it goes. Okay. It's showing in my list, but of course it's a starter thing. Because I'm local. No, always show to me. Should I post what it was called? question. Next time Nelly streams, do you want me to rile her up by booping her? Always. Always boop Nelly. It's for her health. Boops cure the scrunchies. Eee. Now I'm hungry. Now I have any snacks. Should have brought snacks. You won't be set on fire. She just says she will. She doesn't actually do it. She just says she'll do it. Stretchy. Stretchy, stretchy. Ugh. I think we're gonna play some Ark here if Prime can get in. It's the age-old problem of nobody can see it in the list. Because these games can't be arsed to come up with a direct connect option. Like, I have a freaking domain, just... It's connected to the domain, just let direct connect to the domain. But no, can't do it like that. Freaking Minecraft lets you do it. Most other games don't. It's fun in doing that. I know. Why make things simple? Why fix a problem that has existed for near a decade now? Like, I always look up to see if there's a fix for this, and they're like, nope, it's a roll of the dice. It's a roll of the dice. The best thing you can do is try to narrow it down, and it still may not show up. If Prime can't find it, we'll have to do it the way where I log in. And he has to do it through server friends searching. Whole unending search. Okay, we'll have to do it the other way then. We'll have to do it through Steam itself. Which means I actually have to log in to do it, which is fine. Oh, let's see. Imagine being a good dev and making it so there's a direct way to connect to a server. It would just like, it would make so much sense to do that. And they don't. Remember how to do this exactly. You're not torturing. I thought torturing the players was supposed to be in the game. I thought it was meant to be in the game. Okay. Let's go ahead. Since I think this is what we're going to do for the next bit. So we'll just go ahead and set this up. Guess I could have done this through Elysium Bot. She could have done it. We played a little while. I need to pause for lunch in a bit. Some stuff in the afternoon. That's okie dokie. I kind of set up, like I say, a couple things. I got a Minecraft set up.